So I guess I better try and find some sort of place to get some more supplies. So I've chucked out this flare and I'll pick it up using the interaction menu. Okay, now as a general rule, the coast will usually be to your south or to your east. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the coast for the moment, because I'm on the Crutoy Cap, which is a I guess a peninsula of sorts. It can be hard to navigate, so one of the main things you need to do is to find a landmark which you can work off. Generally, by following the coast, you'll find some form of town or building or natural landmark which you can associate with a location on the map. So best thing to do is, if you don't know where you are, try and find a sign or a town, and that way you can start getting an idea for your surroundings. But an important thing is to always keep aware of your surroundings, because at any time there could be other players around, or you could run into a horde of zombies, which is not going to end well generally. Now, usually I wouldn't recommend running around with your flare out, just because it does mark you as a target to other players, purely in that they'll see you coming from miles away and be able to set up an ambush long before you know that they're there. Now, sadly, that's part of the game. It's a survival aspect, survival of the fittest, and a lot of people do generally think that other players drop the best loot, and at the start that's generally true. But for the moment, we'll just carry on with our flare out to give us an idea of our surroundings and what we're doing, and so that you guys can see better what I'm doing as I play. There's a lighthouse. This lighthouse is on Crutoy Cap, so I'm pretty sure I know where I am now. So, as you can see, there is a ladder here. You can climb ladders, although when you're equipped with a secondary weapon such as a pistol, I wouldn't advise it, because once you get to the top, you'll try and take your pistol out. It's just a part of the game engine. You'll try and take it out, and then you'll fall from the top and possibly break a leg or die. So I won't recommend doing that. And here we go. I believe I've found the land bridge now. You'll notice there's a lot of running and walking in this game. At the moment, cars and aircraft are being disabled, purely because there were a few problems with implementing them into the mod. And there goes my flare. So I'll just throw out a new one. So the vehicles have been disabled for the moment, however they will be reintroduced at a later stage. Essentially, you'll see a lot of wrecked cars around the map. Some of them you'll be able to access and repair using parts that you will find in various locations around Chandaroos. So eventually there will be more vehicles around, but at this stage it's mostly on foot. Now, flares also last approximately 5 minutes, so just keep that in mind when you're exploring around, that you only have 5 minutes worth of light. Okay, I'm going to try and move a little bit more inland now, see if I can find a landmark that will help me orientate myself. Now, you may notice the little chain link towards the bottom right of my character. It's currently yellow. That just tells me that I've got a not a very good connection with the server. Now, for the purposes of this video, it's not going to matter too much, but you may want to improve that if you're going to be playing PvP. Now, there's a major road. Now, that heads down to Kamashovo, which is further south west of me. So I'm just going to move up here. There should be a train line which I can follow down, which will be a little bit more subtle than running down the middle of the road. As I was mentioning earlier, the different surfaces you're walking on change the amount of noise you make and how noticeable you are to zombies. Now, as you can see, the lines next to the two icons, the ear and the eye, are changing depending on the surfaces I run on. So if I run up here, I'm a bit more visible and a bit louder, whereas if I'm running on the grass, it's not so much. And the roads are a big thing. They're very loud to run on and very easy to spot you on. Just keep note that this only affects zombies and not other players. Other players will be able to see you regardless if you're running around with a flare, much like real sight. In fact, exactly like real sight. I'm starting to get my first glimpses of buildings in the distance, so I'm just going to break and go down into a crouch, which will make me less visible and less easy to hear for zombies. Now, for the new players, the way to change your stance is C will put you into upright standing position, X will take you down into a crouch, and there goes my flare again. Lovely learning point. I'll just chuck out another one. But Z, as you see, will put you down into a prone position, which essentially renders you almost invisible, but very slow. Okay, I'll just pick this up. Now, you may have seen that I look around like this. Now, the way to do that is by holding down your left Alt key and moving your mouse, and that just allows you to look around, keeping full situational awareness. Now, the point of entering towns is to gather supplies, such as more food, better weapons, water, medical supplies, and another important thing is survival equipment. There's a number of things out there which can help you survive. Maps, you can also get compasses, watches, hunting knives and matches. Hunting knives and matches are very important. They allow you to hunt animals out in the wild, gut them, and then cook the meat inside. Which allows you to survive off the food there. Now, in little enclosures like this, you can often find equipment. So that's a jerry can there, so that's used for refueling vehicles, so it's not much use to me at the moment. But I'll just try and sneak around. One of the important things to do when coming through a town like this is to stay in a crouch and walk using the shift key like I'm doing now, and that'll make you less likely to be spotted by zombies and jumped. So mostly we're looking for enterable buildings. Enterable buildings contain the most loot. Occasionally you'll find stuff outside, but very rarely. I haven't seen any zombies yet, which is a good thing for me, but probably not helping you at the moment. Now, if my local knowledge serves me correctly, I believe that there's a dock over in this direction, so I'll just head over here and see if I can find anything of use in its building. Now, there's the compound now, just showing up. And I can hear a zombie around, but I can't quite see him. So I'll just try and stick away from him, as it were, and I'll sneak along here. And there's that building I was talking about outside the dock. Yeah, I can definitely hear the zombies now. Now, there's often large groups of zombies which will populate towns. Zombies won't populate in a town until a player has triggered a proximity trigger. So if you see a town from a distance with zombies in it, it means that there's probably a player in there already. But to start with, if you don't see anything in there, it's probably generally pretty safe to go in. So this building's opened up now, so I'll just take a squiz inside and see, make sure there's no zombies, because they will go inside. And as you can see, there's a couple of car parts, fuel, tyre, building. I can see this is what most of your loot looks like when you're exploring. So I'll just walk up to that, use the scroll key on my mouse and select gear, and that shows me what's down here. So there's an empty soda can and a couple of tin cans. That's fairly useless to me at this stage. So I walk across here. Haven't got anything better. Nope, still empty tin cans. And I suppose this is quite realistic in that most of the supplies have been taken already, and you are struggling to survive and you are trying to scavenge for stuff. This over here is a fuel tank, so that's again for repairing vehicles. A lot of the factory sort of complexes like this, docks and construction zones are full of car parts, so they're always good to raid once the mechanics for vehicles are back in place. But at this stage it's not too helpful to me.